Good morning and welcome to this thought for the day for Tuesday the 11th of January, and today we're going right back to the beginning, to the book of Genesis, and Genesis chapter 1 verse 20. And God said, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living and moving thing with which the water teems, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals each according to its kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and the livestock, and over all the earth and over all the creatures that move along the ground." And God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, and they will be yours for food, and to all the beasts of the earth and all the birds of the air and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw that he had all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. Then the heavens and the earth were completed in all their vast array. By the seventh day, God had finished the work that he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work. And God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. What a fabulous passage, and what a fabulous account that it gives of creation. And there are so many things that lie within this little passage that we've read. There's the nature of man in relation to the rest of creation. There is the suggestion that man was originally intended to be a vegetarian, and indeed the rest of the animals as well. And then there's the whole issue of the Sabbath and God's intention for man on a 7-day cycle, with one day as a day of rest, something that we seem to neglect rather a lot. But it's the overarching picture of the creation account that I'd like just to concentrate on for a moment. There were, as I'm sure you know, lots of different competing accounts of how the world came into being around in the ancient world. And the thing that strikes me is the way in which the Genesis account stands out from all the rest. You have stories of war, of gods at war with each other, cutting each other to pieces and creating the elements of the universe and other such fanciful stuff. And against that we have the majestic picture that Genesis chapter 1 and 2 present for us, that God spoke and it was so, that God made everything that we see. And it's a process. It's a process of differentiation. So he starts by creating the heavens and the earth, and then gradually teases it out to create the different elements of the universe and to create the different elements of life, finishing eventually with the apex of creation, which is us, man himself. And it always seems sad to me that there is this tension which is created between science and religion, between the creation account and evolution. And it seems sad to me that people like David Attenborough and Brian Cox, who value the works of creation, fail to see the creator who lies behind them. I began life as a scientist myself and earned my living as a biologist for the first 10 years of my working life. And one of the things that I discovered is that in proportion there are far more scientists than non-scientists who are Christians, and that scientists are prepared to recognise the work of the Creator and to see the amazing way in which the Bible ties in with the works of science. A great talk that I heard at a clergy conference a number of years ago was by a professor of cosmology, speaking about science and religion, and just speaking of the wondrous way in which creation is balanced, that as Genesis says that God created out of nothing, so we can see, if we look at science, that actually all that we see around us is made of nothing, that it's positive and negative charges held in tension, and if they were brought together, they would cancel each other out, and there would be nothing. And he also spoke of the as it were, so-called anthropic principle of creation, that things like the Big Bang were so finely balanced, and that it was only by a million to one chance that the Big Bang that we have created the conditions in the universe for the Earth to exist and for life to exist and for it to be in balance as it is. And so we could go on. It's a wonderful thing to see that God has made all that we see around us and us within it with a purpose. And how sad to be purposeless in seeing life and all around us. So, hope you have a great day. Have a great week. God bless you.